What if scenarios? What if mail-in voting is a mess? What if states send competing slates of electoral votes to Washington, D.C.? And what if Congress can't sort it all out by January 20th? That's a question for Chad Pergram, our congressional correspondent, joining us now live on Capitol Hill. So, Chad, could we get a President Nancy Pelosi?
Well, it's very possible, but it is a remote possibility. This is something that President Trump has touted on a couple of occasions, but it is rather remote. Let me run you through the scenario here. It does get a little bit complicated. Now, states have to decide by mid-December which electors to send to Washington. But what happens if a state is still counting? In 1960, Hawaii sent in 2 electoral slates, one for John F. Kennedy, the other for Richard Nixon.
For example, there are conflicting sets of electors that are sent to the Congress if a governor or a legislature refuses to send any electors to the Congress. You know, there's a great deal of discretion that is left with the Congress.
But if Congress can't decide who wins in the Electoral College, the 12th Amendment to the Constitution dictates the House elects the president in a contingent election. The House has elected 2 presidents, Thomas Jefferson in 1801 and John Quincy Adams in 1825. But Pelosi could become president if they haven't sorted this out by Inauguration Day. Now, the Presidential Succession Act would kick in. Keep in mind, on Inauguration Day, if you don't have a president and you don't have a vice president, then the Speaker of the House is next in line. And the Speaker of the House would have to resign from Congress and also from the speakership. That's something that's never happened before. And that person is the acting president, Sandra.
But, Chad, the chances of this are remote, correct?
That's right. Pretty remote. You know, there's a lot of things that have to happen. 2 cracks. Congress has to certify the Electoral College. Then you would have a contingent election. But if you don't, you know, keep in mind that the states figure this out. The state delegations in the House of Representatives each gets 1 vote. Listen.
There's no difference in the political power of the states, no matter how small or large they are, if it comes to the U.S. House having to decide who is the president of the United States.
In other words, California with 53 seats is the equivalent of South Dakota with just 1. Each gets 1 vote. And right now, even though Democrats are in the majority in the House of Representatives, Republicans have a majority of state delegations. This is very important. And that could switch. It's pretty close right now in terms of state delegations in the elections this fall. Sandra?
Very interesting.